Hockey's back, everybody, and the Lightning win. They take this one 5-1 over the Chicago Blackhawks. And yeah, you know what? It's the Chicago Blackhawks, so there's not too much surprise there. There was a fair few good things to be excited about if you're a Lightning fan, and some things to be maybe less excited about. But we'll go over all of those and more in today's Bolts Fan Reacts. Let's get into it. So the first thing they started off with obviously normally would have been the raising of the Stanley Cup banner. But the cool thing that they decided to do was they decided to wait until fans can be back in the building to experience that with the team themselves. Something that they said was trophies are for the team, rings are for the players, and the banners are for the fans. So they're going to wait until they can have fan attendance to raise the banner, but until then they're going to have this big banner that's like, I don't know, it looks like 20 feet tall. It's probably not that much, but it looks that tall, just sitting in the corner, hanging, looking over the game. It's pretty cool. And that'll go up next to the 2004 Stanley Cup banner, so hype about that. And this game started, as to be expected, this game started pretty lackluster. There wasn't a lot of crisp passing. You know, the teams were trying to get back into it. Chicago was knocked out in the first round of the playoffs, and obviously the Lightning played all the way through, so you know they had maybe a little bit less rust than the rest. They still had to shake the rust off and get back into the groove of like full speed hockey, because the scrimmages that the teams play, the intra-team scrimmages, that's not going to be full speed. It's not going to be full contact. So they had to get back into it. So the first break for the Lightning comes with 9:52 left in the first period. Calvin DeHaan gets an interference penalty. I forget who he interfered with, but so regardless, the Lightning go on the power play. And there's been a lot of people saying power play is going to be lacking. It's going to be suffering without Kucherov. That was not the case. The Lightning start off with a nice 100% success rate on the power play. When Palat jams in a rebound, it was just Stamkos over to Hedman. Hedman shot on the net, and then Palat was waiting in front and just had 2 or 3 whacks at it and finally put like the third one in. Then roughly about 6 minutes later, play is in the Chicago zone as it was for a lot of this game. So Joseph gets the puck in the corner, puts it off of Malcolm Subban. It kind of sits down behind him, and as he's moving around trying to see it, trying to get to it, he bumps it with the skate and it goes into the net. And that's 2-0 Lightning. About a minute and 40 seconds later, Cirelli gets one of the nicest deflection goals I've ever seen. Chernak had it on the right side of the Chicago zone, comes in, shooting it. It's probably going wide, and Cirelli gets this really nice tip right from where the shot was, which is probably about knee height, right up over Subban's shoulder. Really nice goal. Then we jump ahead to the second period, and with about 16 minutes left, Boquist gets a holding penalty, and the Lightning power play goes on for the second time. And this time, Cooper decided to start with the second unit. I think the first line was out to draw the penalty, and he didn't want to lead with them and with a tired group of players. So he put the second unit out there, and I will say the second unit, not so good. Doesn't look so good. They weren't super precise in the Chicago end. It took, first of all, they didn't even get into Chicago's end, I think, until probably a minute into the power play. They were kind of fiddly farting around in their end, and Chicago had players doing a really good job penalty killing, but it was just really sloppy trying to get the puck up the ice from the second unit. But eventually they do get it down there. The first unit comes out, and Stamkos ends up with the puck. He ends up with the puck down low on the left side, comes around the face-off circle and just rockets one and hits the post. And I was very upset because he's on my fantasy team and I wanted him to get that goal. At about 11 minutes left in the second period, Calvin DeHaan, who gave us our first goal by getting the penalty, gets probably the best chance Chicago had all game, and ends up with a breakaway, about a top of the circles breakaway in on Vasi. Vasi doesn't panic, he just stays low, gets in his butterfly, and just shuffles around as DeHaan puts a little decon, goes to his backhand, and isn't able to get it above Vasi's pad. Very nice save from Vasilevsky. Vasilevsky looked like it was middle of the season. No warm-up needed for Vasi. He's ready to go Right after that breakaway, Chicago gets a delay of game penalty, trying to clear the puck out of their zone. The first power play unit for Tampa gets to go to work again. And the first power play unit looks good. Ooh, it looks so good. So we've got Point on the right, we've got Hedman up top, and we've got Stamkos on the left where he can take some one-timers. They were trying to get him those one-timers. They were basically all game whenever they had a power play, they were trying to get him to get that one-timer. Stamkos gives it up to Hedman. Hedman gets it over to Point. Point has a little bit of open space, skates it up like he's gonna shoot it, and then slides it through the gap in the middle right to Stamkos. He doesn't wail on it with his trademark slap shot one-timer, but he gets a little snapshot one-timer in there, and it goes home into an empty net. It was an amazing play by Point. All credit for that goal goes to Point, because as he skates forward, he takes multiple men, including the goalie. The goalie thinks he's going to shoot that the whole time, and then he just slides the puck perfectly over to Stamkos, who just puts it in the empty net. Very, very nice goal to see from the power play. And the power play looked really good. I mean, I'm pretty sure they were 2 for 5 or something like that, it's over 25%, which is pretty good. But that brings us to the third period, and about 40 seconds in, Duncan Keith gets a slashing penalty, and Tampa goes back on the power play. They played their second unit a lot more in this power play, and it kind of shows, because they don't score. I'm not sure what they need to do with that second unit. Maybe they need to slot in a different defenseman, or maybe swap out a defenseman. I'm pretty sure that second unit has Sergachev and McDonough, so maybe you could swap out McDonough for another forward. And with about 15 minutes left, I will say, and this is coming from a Lightning fan, Malcolm Subban with a possible save of the year candidate in the first game. It was good. It was nice. If you remember in the playoffs, that one save from Carey Price, the crazy paddle save where he kind of shoved his stick out and the puck hit the paddle and blocked the open empty net, it was basically that, just, a little different. So what happened was, it was Joseph, Cirelli, and Killorn were out there. Joseph was behind the net underneath the goal line. He was able to corral it while being held against the boards. He kicked it out to Cirelli, who was coming in from the right. Killorn was going up the left side, and Cirelli passed it over to Killorn for the one-timer. Subban, totally out of position, lunges across with the back of his paddle and is able to get the back of his paddle on the puck and saves it. It was a wide open net, and it was an incredible save. Very lucky, but it was still an incredible save. Then about 2 minutes later, we get another Lightning goal. This one would be the final Lightning goal, and this one would be Braden Point from Steven Stamkos and Sergachev, which was a big help for me because I have Sergachev and Stamkos, so I got points for that. And it was a big help for my girlfriend Danielle because she has Point on her fantasy team, so that helps her out. But this was just another nice goal. Stamkos was on the right side. Actually, he came up from the left side. He kind of did the whole ring around the rosy thing, came all the way up to the blue line, started to head back down, and then just passed it right into the high slot where Point was waiting, stick ready, just shoots it on net, gets it in. And the Lightning Stars were big tonight. They showed up. I was actually really impressed with Stamkos today. Stamkos' passing was really nice. He actually had 2 assists and 1 goal, so he actually did a lot more of the passing today. It was nice. It was nice to see. Stamkos is back, very healthy. He looked very good. No signs of injury or lingering injury or anything like that. I'm very, very happy to see how well Stamkos played tonight. And then the one goal that Chicago scored had to be this. This, if there were a video to define luck, this is it. Because nothing of that happened was intended to happen. So what happened was, I forget who shoved it down to behind the net, but one of the Blackhawks players threw it behind the net. Strome went to corral it off the boards, corralled it incorrectly, which caused it to shoot out to the front of the net, where it unfortunately bounced off of Chernak's skate, then in between Vasi's legs, off of Vasi's skate, and into the net. I mean, it was nothing that happened was on purpose. It was all just lucky bounces. So unfortunately, the shutout ends there. With about 3 minutes left, the shutout ends, and unfortunately, Vasi can't get his first shutout of the season. I was hoping he would, because Chicago had a couple chances, but maybe 3. They had maybe 3 quality chances to score. The Lightning were playing really, really well tonight. And again, it is the Lightning, and it is Chicago. very different in terms of skill and especially goaltending. I'm cautiously optimistic about how the Lightning played, because 5-1 is an awesome scoreline, but you have to think that in the other net was Malcolm Subban. In my opinion, that's going to be the weakest goalie the Lightning play in this division by far. I mean, normally he's not even a backup goalie, but because Chicago has nothing in terms of goaltending right now, he's the starter. And I think it's Delia. He might end up coming up and being the starter. He's way younger. We'll have to wait and see. But Malcolm Subban is, I think, the weakest goalie in the division. But I think against a tougher opponent, maybe a Dallas with a Khudobin or a Bishop, is going to be a lot harder to put that many goals in. And it's going to be a lot harder to keep all the goals out as well. But overall, pretty happy. I like the line combinations. We had Joseph in there instead of Johnson. I'm not exactly sure the reason for that. They said on the broadcast that it was cap related. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what the cap issues are there, because they're saying that Johnson's going to play in the next game on Friday, but the cap issues will still be there. So I'm not sure. I'm not really sure the logistics behind that. I was excited to see a Lightning win. Hockey's back. Nothing to complain about. And also the Habs lost. So that's for you, Benny. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hit like if you liked it. Hit subscribe if you want to see more. Here's for some more Lightning wins.